The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Hello again, and welcome to the Brandon Peters Show as we continue the summer of 2015 at 10. A look back at the movies from that summer and the pop culture that surrounded them. Joining me, as always, from Puck News and the Outside Scoop, which this week is straight out of Akron, Scott's 5 favorite ice cream flavors in a boat complete with a chocolate-covered banana. Scott Mendelson.
Yes.
But it's chocolate-covered.
Yeah, but it's still a banana.
That's the Giamatti of the Sunday.
If you gave him a lead pipe and said, eat this, no. Here's chocolate. Still no.
And from We Live Entertainment, out now with Aaron and Abe and 2 Black Guys Talk Godzilla. He's not falling for your shit, Jerry. Aaron Neuwirth.
Right. Till you forget it.
Forget it. All right, this episode will discuss the films releasing August 14 to 16, 2015. This is currently the final 3 episodes of this series with movies.
Wow,
we're gonna have to do
ill from here.
The last one's a 5-episode one, so we're gonna have to do an epilogue episode to get our favorites and final thoughts and choose the next summer, which we have. This is time to start talking about what summers have been suggested to us. So I'm going to roll out this list, and we will talk about briefly here what we think. 1984, 1986, 1987, 1989, 1990, 1994, 1997, 1998, and 2008. Now, I will say multiple people have said 89 and multiple people have said 97. So that's where we're at. What do you guys think about that? I figured 84 was coming. That's the Ghostbusters, Gremlins, summer.
I feel like I haven't done an 80s one with you guys, so
Yes.
I'd be leaning towards that anyway. I feel like 84 seems very obvious, not in a bad way. It's not like, oh no, I got to talk about Ghostbusters. But like,
Temple of Doom. Oh,
I do feel like that kind of realm has been covered so much by by fan culture in general at this point. Where 89, it's not like that's been undersung as far as Indiana Jones and another Ghostbusters. Whoa,
right. I am humoring the idea of 89 more so in the realm of and like my personal choice is 86 again because I was like, oh, the year I was born, that'd be fun. That's the like I'm between those two, and 97 I think is a really solid 90s year for sure. Yeah, my thing is like we started 82 because that was the year I was born, and then 89. If we did that, that was the year that made me. Like that was the one that made me the bigger film person. That was the one that that summer transformed me. Like my life is not the same because of that summer at the movies, particularly Batman, but Indiana Jones helped too, as well as Ghostbusters and all the other ones as well. So there is it for you 84 nuts.
The Final Frontier.
Yes, it was. Oh gosh, yeah. And that Star Trek movie came out. Make Aaron watch Star Trek. That we might want to do that. We had
it's not like I'd be opposed. I just have to like do the work to catch up on these. Like that's the thing.
You'd be like, I thought you said this was just you guys like Star Trek. What the hell is this?
I've seen one in con, so you know
Gotcha.
I'm getting there.
Honestly, I think it would be more interesting for you just to watch 5 relatively blind.
Yes.
I mean, you know who the characters are, so you're not like going to be confused.
As far as I'm concerned, Scott, Spock died. So if he suddenly back, I don't think I can handle that.
There you go. But yeah, so 89. That's the summer it made me. We always have Aaron's birth year, the year he was.
Which is a pretty it's a good summer, by the way.
There's a lot of good. It's 80.
Aliens, The Fly, like there's some bangers. Running
the Karate Kid Part 2.
Yeah.
Karate Kid Part 2.
If the mid to late,
I am the man who will fight for your honor. Okay, carry on.
So if the mid to late 70s was where they discovered the idea of the summer blockbuster, the 80s is where they figure it out, and the 90s is where they kind of have the cadence down of like when this stuff comes. This is why we can't do 1931 when Scott was born.
Right. But okay, so like 97, we're looking at like Fifth Element, Event Horizon, like
Men in Black,
like
Contact.
I mean, I'd be down to talk Contact. I like that movie.
That is a better summer in retrospect than I remember it being as it was happening, because obviously, I didn't love Lost World. I didn't love Batman and Robin. I was only okay on Men in Black. So it really wasn't until sort of the back half we got Contact, Air Force One, and Face Off was sort of like the exception to the rule for me. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I'm surprised with your hot take on not being big on Batman and Robin. Jeez. So
I've come around.
So
it's merely a C-.
Well, I mean, and I've said this many times, both in private and public, that I've always joked that a sign of becoming a mature adult is realizing that Batman and Robin is just a bad film and not a war crime.
Yeah, that's what I feel about Superman 4. Superman
3, Jesus. Ugh.
Superman 3, arguable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Superman Returns. We should send that to the sun.
Oh boy. Yeah. Don't give it any more strength.
I just figure by the time this episode comes up, people have Superman fever, and so they'll be taking all these hot takes. Like, Ralph was pretty good, actually. And I'm like, Ralph wasn't bad. It wasn't his fault. It's the movie that sucks.
Oh, yeah. 1997, we get Austin Powers.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things in that. That's what I was saying. 97, I am down for 97. That's not a problem.
Lost World, of which I'm a fan. Con Air.
I don't love it, but it certainly would make an interesting conversation.
As a Face Off. I mean, a lot of stuff we've talked about other podcasts, but a lot more that we have not. Kind of our like need to get to type ones. So that's
the thing is, we've done a lot of commentaries for 90s movies specifically. So
yeah,
right. Gotcha. 1990. That.
What's the year? 1990?
Yeah, that was selected as one.
Was it like Dick Tracy and
Total Recall,
Ghost?
Yeah.
Obviously another 48 Hours.
97. That'd be what, Batman and Robin and My Best Friend's Wedding in the same weekend. I'd be like all over this weekend. That'd be great.
All right, so we like what? 86, 89, and 97?
Yeah, I feel like 89 would probably win in the long run here, but like those would be my choices. That's for me.
Let's crack it down to 4 here. What would be the 4th?
94?
So 2 90s, 2 80s. Fuck yourself 2008 and your Indiana Jones and Batman bullshit.
That one's almost too obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine we'd get to that in a future year.
Well, my thing is 2008 to me is the sequel to the 1989 summer. There's a lot of similarities in that one. I've talked about that a lot. So
would there be a way to do those two concurrently in some skewed way?
You have all that time?
You have that time, Scott.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, we devote half the amount of time to each respective week. So
it's called patience. We'll do it eventually, man.
You get to it. Yeah, we got to it eventually. So I know there was some desire for us to definitely steer clear of the 2000s. And I mean, this shows people want more 80s and 90s talk, because I think a lot of people have fresh-minded or listener-wise lived through those or something. And doing this series now, a lot of it's been fresh on the brain things, and there's no discovery, or the thesis we have on it is about the damn same as we had before. There's not enough. Just times past, there's different things, but
I was just going to make another note that next year will be 40 years since 1986. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so Scott, you said 94, right?
That's probably my favorite summer of the 90s offhand.
All right. So Scott, I want you to go on your Twitter platform and put a poll up for 86, and I'll share it. You just have the bigger following, so we're gonna have to go.
Not anymore.
We're gonna use you. Oh no.
Well, I mean, since Elon took over the platform, my engagement's dropped by like 80%.
Yeah, you still have over 20,000 followers. What are you talking about?
Still eclipse
but I get no engagement.
Still eclipse us. We'll put it all over everywhere. You blue skiers, you count double. There we go. So yeah, we'll go 86, 89, 97, and 94. So Scott will put up a poll. We'll try to put polls in other
I'm
places.
with Aaron, 86.
So, well, it's up to the listeners, not Scott Mendelson.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm being conciliatory.
Yeah, I like all four
I'm
choices.
happy about that.
Yeah.
What are these 94 movies I'm not thinking of? Like Clear and Present Danger.
Clear and Present Danger, Speed, Maverick.
Maverick, finally.
Yeah, I know. Well, the conversation will be interesting. The Crow, that was May, right?
Yeah.
And Natural Born Killers, Forrest Gump, The Lion King.
Lion King. Okay.
I mean, whatever. True Lies, and Little Big League, which is the good one.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites.
No argument there. No argument there.
Okay.
That being said, looking at 86, are there a bunch of my all-time favorites? No, but there's a lot of movies that will be interesting to talk about.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And it also contains the one good Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, wait. Jason Lives?
Yeah.
Dude, that final chapter's good, so is 2. Here,
Jason Lives is the Fast Five of the series. Everything just comes together.
And then falls right apart after that.
Yeah. Well, Fast Saga is
Manhattan is kind of the Fate of the Furious of its... So okay. So that's what we'll do. That's how we'll roll with this, and you guys can pick from those 4. So we got to weed them down. Now you choose which one. I don't know what this meant. You choose. You choose those.
I'm glad that this random August episode was the deciding factor as far as getting the polls.
We're getting toward the end. The poll's gonna go up before this episode drops, but now you're gonna hear how we got to that on this one. So.
Fair enough. Well, I'm just gonna make that sentimental play once again, saying 86 is when I was born, guys. And I feel like I'd really do myself a service by letting these guys also talk about the movies that came out during that time. But seriously, I do think it's a fun year. So
I don't know. I've come around.
When's Buckaroo Banzai? When did that come out?
Did it come out? Was it a summer movie?
That's a good question too. Was that 84 though? It was 84. Right?
It's 84. It's 84.
Is it a summer movie? We just do a commentary on Buckaroo Banzai.
August 15th. Yes.
Hey. All right. So the year after this one.
So the year we wiped out of this conversation. No Buckaroo Banzai.
Did they get a Disney style re-release at some point?
Right. Fair enough.
What if a week from now, just out of nowhere, Fathom's like, we're doing a Buckaroo Banzai event? It'd be like, yes, score.
There was a re-release of it.
I'm sure there was.
Yeah, there was. There was something. I remember seeing like a trailer. I don't know if it was Fathom or if it was Flashback Cinema. Can't remember. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's it. That's the poll. Go vote. We'll keep on going. And as always, we will start this episode with the news.
It's been a long day without news, my friend. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
North Korea is set to roll back its clocks, but just by 30 minutes. The country's top lawmaking body announces new time zone Friday, called Pyongyang time.
All right. So on August 10th, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius, in Apalachicola, Florida, it broke the state record of 109 degrees Fahrenheit set in 1931. So,
Florida man killed many people that day.
Climate change is not a thing.
I think we licked that.
Yeah, we fixed it. We got it
in
down.
the bud.
Remember when Leonardo DiCaprio sold his yachts and all that stuff? Like, we're gonna prove this.
Don't blame Leo.
August 10th, same day, Google announces its restructure as Alphabet, a holding company with Google, YouTube, Android, and Chrome as subsidiaries.
At which point they changed their motto from "Don't be evil" to "All the evil." They changed their motto from "Don't be evil" to
When did the internship come out where they like worked for Google? What year was that?
2013.
That was 2013, right? You remember that?
When did Google Glass come out? Did they try to make a thing? Is that 20? That was in this range.
Was that Shyamalan film that everybody likes?
Ha. No, it was
around
worse.
the 2013 time, I want to say.
Yeah. They were trying to make athletes wear them. Be like, look at this. I just love.
I always feel like it's still coming out. Like, I feel like I never actually saw it in reality. And I feel like it's always like still like, oh yeah, it's going to 88. All right. That's the reaction I always get to Google Glass.
Right. It would look cooler than that stupid Apple monstrosity put on your head and plug into your like belt.
When you jack into the Matrix.
Yeah. Okay. Next day, August 11th. The Greek debt crisis. Remember, we've been keeping up with the Greek debt crisis. European Commission announces a bailout with Greece and its creditors has been agreed in principle. So not quite there yet, guys.
Principle as in morally speaking or in terms of capital?
Morally speaking.
Morally speaking.
That same day, Japan's Sendai nuclear power plant restarts the first nuclear reactor since the 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. Was that in response to the Greek bailout? I don't know.
It's building up to Shin Godzilla, that's for sure.
Yes. And that same day, the largest ever outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in New York, leaving 12 dead with over 100 cases in the South Bronx. Man, I don't know if Van Damme's ever received reviews that bad before.
I was going to say, is that what like a bunch of handsome elderly men with scarves and brown bomber jackets started parading around New York?
Right. Legionnaires.
Is it sad that I also thought of the same John Van Damme movie?
I thought of it too.
No, that's exactly it. Either that or or like Launchpad McQuack. That's the image of Legionnaires.
Legionnaire. I just remember that popped up. I'm like, what the fuck did this happen? This movie,
or
Baloo
from Tailspin. Those are the
I
know.
Good old Air America buddies.
Little hat.
Dealing drugs for the CIA on Afternoon Disney.
From Legionnaires to Matadors, Spain's top matador Francisco Rivera Ordóñez Jr. is gored and injured by a bull in Huesca.
He had it coming.
Oof. At least he didn't catch Legionnaires' disease.
I was going to say that's why he was distracted because his best friend he heard just got Legionnaires' disease.
Got a big day on August 12th. China cuts its currency, the yuan, for the second day in a row to boost exports. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter reveals that he has cancer.
Got over it.
Spoiler. It goes on for about 10 more years.
Yeah.
In London, archaeologists discover a mass grave of 30 bodies from the 1665 plague. They moved the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies.
That movie
Indiana Jones and the massive cover-up.
Holy 30 bodies.
We're a Poltergeist podcast. We've done the original and the remake. So
they have.
So we can make Poltergeist jokes.
Did 2 come out in 86?
It did.
It
there
did.
You go.
That's a good one too. They're both there.
See you on the other side.
Poltergeist is not a bad franchise.
It's not. The only bad one's the remake.
Yeah. And even the remake's like, It's
like, well, the actors are trying.
Yeah.
A large series of explosions in Tianjin, China, leave at least 50 dead and 700 injured in an industrial accident. Oof. Part
of their no kids policy.
In brighter news, the U.S. Postal Service issues a second postage stamp featuring rock singer Elvis Presley as part of its Music Icon series. The design is a black and white photograph taken by William Spear in 1955. Moving on to August 13th, taking it back down, 76 people are killed and 212 are wounded by an ISIL truck bomb in Baghdad, Iraq.
This is the first I've heard of disturbances in Iraq.
Yeah, never.
It's not as fun to make fun of the news from 10 years ago as it is from 20 years ago, but it's still worth trying.
Freedom's still on the march.
Right, people still remember that. Swedish prosecutors announced they're dropping allegations against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange of sexual molestation and coercion.
Oh, well, at least the system works.
Right. The U.S. government formally returns to France Picasso's painting La Coiffeuse, stolen from Paris National Museum of Modern Art in 2001.
That's the one with the circle and the share and the squigglies.
Got stolen. Got it
got
back.
Some orange and some blue in it.
James Bond got it back, I bet. It's probably him.
Was it James Bond or Thomas Crown?
Oh, maybe. Maybe it was Thomas Crown.
It was a tag team.
Yeah, it was a tag team. Next day, August 14th, the most expensive face transplant surgery ever performed on Patrick Hardison by Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez at New York University Langone Medical Center.
Dr. Face.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look on Groupon first.
Face Off, summer of 1997 for you voters. Face Off.
Hold on, doctor. One more thing. Hold up the phone. Can you scan this?
You gotta wait 24 hours.
Hold on. That's a QR code. Let me get the barcode out here.
Oh God. August 15th, North Korea creates its own time zone, moving its clocks back half an hour to check Grand Mountain Time 8.5.
I'm sure Boone was just like giddy that day when he's like, "Oh, we did it." That's gonna screw with those guys.
A half hour. And August 16th, Batman Samaritan Lenny B. Robinson is killed in a car accident in Maryland.
I remember this. That sucked.
Yeah. And then
Batman Samaritan?
Yeah.
The guy that ran around dressed as Batman doing good deeds?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's it. Yeah.
Not a vigilante, but a Samaritan.
And just like a fairly peaceful Samaritan. That's why it's like, this is just like a guy that was like trying. Like,
I just want to make the world a better place. And then on that same day, PGA Championship men's golf. Whistling Straits GC, Australian Jason Day wins, setting championship record of 20 under par, beating Jordan Spieth by 3 shots.
20 under. Wow.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's like
Jesus.
That's damn near hole in one every.
I didn't think that was even possible.
That's as good as Owen Wilson on Apple's Stick.
And it wasn't putt.
Yeah,
mini golf.
Yeah.
Okay. We do have deaths this week. NASCAR driver Buddy Baker, soccer player Harold Neeson, stage and screen comic actor, playwright, and screenwriter Stephen Lewis, American civil rights leader Julian Bond, Olympic equestrian writer Karen Stives, music producer for Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash Bob Johnston, and Gordon Jazz Summers, music manager for Wham and Snow Patrol. And we have no weddings this week. So we'll head on to our first movie, Mistress America, playing in 4 theaters.
You ready for this squirt? It's going to get ugly. I'm ready. Great.
There's no cheating when you're 18. You should all be touching each other all the time.
Mistress America is a pure delight. It's smart, funny, and breathless. Greta Gerwig is absolutely hilarious and wonderful.
Can I start over?
Of course.
That was pretend rewind.
Mistress America.
That was an amazing night.
Directed by Noah Baumbach, written by Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, starring Greta Gerwig, Lola Kirk, Matthew Shear, Jasmine Cephas Jones, Heather Lind, Michael Chernus.
The first of 2.
Michael churn us up the summer heat, because he's in 2 movies this week.
The churn is weak for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and Catherine Erb. A lonely college freshman's life is turned upside down by her impetuous, adventurous stepsister-to-be. Aaron, tell us about Mistress America.
So I didn't catch this in theaters when it came out, but I wanted to. So I finally caught up with it like a while later because it didn't it's like Searchlight, so like it didn't like stream and like whatever. I eventually got it through Netflix, I think. Regardless, I love this movie. I know a lot of people lean on like Francis Ha when it comes to kind of the earlier Baumbach
Gerwig period. I like that movie plenty until I have it here on Criterion somewhere. I think Mistress America is maybe my favorite Baumbach movie next to Marriage Story, perhaps. I really like the screwball energy of this film. I think the editing in particular makes it so strong because it just moves. This movie's like what, 89 minutes at most, maybe. It fucking flies. And it's this like just tremendous like screwball Woody Allen inspired romp of just these two women dealing with like a host of like different like relationship related things. I think the ensemble cast here is wonderful. I like all of these people. Chernus is someone that I could easily get annoyed by, but in this role, I think he just works. For example, Jasmine Cyphers Jones I really like a lot. Like I liked her in Blind Spotting and the show that came from it. So like seeing her here in like an earlier role where she's still like coming out of theater. But the main thing obviously is Greta Gerwig and Lola Kirk. Lola Kirk, who at this time I'm going from Mozart in the Jungle, which I think is a terrific Amazon show. Um, I think she's such a great and underrated talent. I was happy to see her in Sinners this past year. But her and Gerwig, I think, have such an incredible chemistry together. And Gerwig is just, she's cut loose here. Like, if you think she's a mess in Frances Ha, which she is, here she gets to play like the movie has such it's such a weird take on, because it's not like Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but it's like, it's this kind of like, she just like exists in this weird bubble where she's like super confident and will talk a mile a minute, regardless of if she's in the right or wrong. But it's funny without like, it should be irritating, but it's not. But it is. It's like, I don't know, like whatever like weird chemistry this movie has to like make it work as well as it does for me, it just does. Like anytime this movie comes up as far as like an option to watch, I'm like, why not? This movie rules. I have such a blast watching this movie. I'm a big fan.
Gotcha. Scott?
More or less the same. I had seen this post theatrical and I was aware of it. And when I first saw it, I was kind of surprised to see that Greta Gerwig wasn't the protagonist necessarily. That, you know, you had an entry level character and she's sort of the agent of chaos. Of course, I knew that going in this time. And yeah, it feels very much of its time. And that's not a criticism because, you know, it was of its time and the time that it was made in terms of a certain, you know, the way young people talked, at least in pop culture, was very mid 2010s. But beyond that, it's just, at its best, it almost feels like a rubber band thriller. By that, I mean, you know, she meets this person that's this fiery fireball of pure charisma and aspirational, you know, who gives zero fucks to give attitude. And you know that eventually something's going to explode. Because, you know, A, you know, we've seen movies, and B, there is a certain undercurrent of this is too good to last. What is, you know, what is the other shoe going to drop, and what is that other shoe? And what I think is interesting is, without going into details in case anyone hasn't seen it, the eventual second act rock bottom moment is really weird. And also, frankly, you know, our young novice, unaware of the world, blah, 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 isn't exactly innocent in what transpires. And which I liked. I thought it was a more interesting moral whatever. Yeah, Gerwig is indeed sort of a bat out of hell, you know, I would say sort of almost a Tasmanian devil. I mean, yeah. I joked earlier that this almost feels like a gender swap remake of Fight Club. And yeah, I'm being a little facetious, but it does feel in this person that is unhappy with their life, doesn't have it figured out, doesn't know what they want to do, and they run into this person that, in the short term at least, feels like the absolute personification of who they want to be. And we've had a few films like that this summer to a certain extent, where you sort of a don't meet your thing. But this is a very good version of that. And it's very well acted. It's incredibly well paced. It's 85 minutes, but it actually feels faster. And it's an interesting example for me of, obviously, Gerwig and I'm going to mispronounce his name, Noah Baumbach. I mean, is that? Yeah. they were certainly known as voices to watch, filmmakers to watch. And this was 4 years after Gerwig was just unusually good in a thankless role in the Arthur remake.
Well, in our time between 2004 and 2015 here, we've kind of passed on and we're towards the end of the mumblecore era, which they came up, and Swanberg was there and Ty West and all them having the mumblecore movies, and what's her name made girls
Lena Dunham
with
the
Hannah
Duplass brothers, obviously.
Duplass brothers, yeah, like all these mumblecore people. So this is like the evolution and towards the end of that, I would say.
For Gerwig.
And this film feels, I don't want to say inessential because that's a criticism, but it feels very comfortable in its own skin, that is not trying to make any grand artistic cinematic statement. It is just focused on being a very specific character study that just nails the narrative and the character piece that it's trying to do. And it's very good. It's, again, almost unassuming. And it kind of, even though you know something is coming, the third act surprised me in a number of ways in terms of, who does what, who mea culpa is how, and, various bits of, mutual shared responsibility. But beyond that, it's just a really good quasi road trip comedy that, because it's based almost like it's based like a thriller. I thought so anyway. Where it's like, you're almost waiting for like, uh-oh, when's this going to go? When's this going to explode? In a way that I found very effective.
Yeah, I think I like you pointing out, Scott, like thriller, because this definitely has comedic suspense to it. Because it's not like edge of your seat, someone's going to die, but you're like nervously laughing at how it's getting to places and where it's going to come from. And it's definitely movie. So you compare it to Fight Club. The movie that kept coming to my mind when I was watching this was Roger Dodger. Jesse Eisenberg, like where they're not related, they're gonna be, but like the young one being shown this life that they hope to have for the older one trying to show ropes and stuff. And
I love Roger Dodger, by the way.
Roger Dodger's great.
Campbell Scott and Jesse Eisenberg, great movie.
We watched that one in college a lot. Like I randomly got it from a $5 bin at Walmart, and we're like, this is excellent. What is
it's on
this?
It's on Hoopla and Canopy, I think. It's really easy to watch if anyone hasn't seen
It'll make you go, why isn't Campbell Scott in everything? That movie. But so yeah, they have this kind of like tour of places with each other, learning each other, having fun. And Gerwig, like, I'm so glad she's a prolific director and stuff, but I do miss her in front of the screen too, because she's such a presence. And this is such a tough role to play the way she does, because I honestly believe only other people think she is an awful person or has been an awful person, but she buys into none of it or doesn't know it or realize it at all. Like when she meets that person at the bar that comes to tell her off, and she's just like, oh yeah, like she's just oblivious, and then it's like, okay, well, you motherfucker, like this. And then they have that discussion that's great, like popular people don't know they're popular, it's the other people that deem them popular, which is great. And I just I'd not seen this one before, and I knew I was gonna like it, like just conceptually, but this is one of the better movies we've seen this summer, and it's unique. I like when you get to that finale, basically that's at that friend of hers house with her husband and stuff, and trying to pitch the restaurant. Like, it's nerve-wracking. Like, you don't know what you're rooting for, and then it turns itself on its head in a totally different way that you're not expecting, and it's just like, wow, this is cool stuff.
You're in that house for a while,
and you're in that. Yeah, it is.
You're there for like a good.
It is like
hour.
toe tapping, and the road trip part of it's fun too. I really like that. Like, and yeah, from this movie, Lola Kirk, like, she's in stuff, but like, I'm like, man, how does she not fly off? And
she's also a musician. She does that too. So, like, I think some of it's somewhat deliberate as far as her career.
I mean, this is such a good performance from her, and just such a presence that, and works well with Gerwig, like perfectly. Like that, like this reminded me of the Campbell Scott Jesse Eisenberg relationship.
It's a good, it's a good pull. I was also thinking, because we just watched it, but the end of the tour, as far as just kind of blending personalities and whatnot. But
so this movie just really, if this is definitely recommend from this summer to check out, because I'm sure a lot of people listening probably haven't seen it. Not easy to find, right? I think you have to rent it. I don't think it's on any streamer.
It was on Hulu for a while because it's Searchlight, so it was on Hulu for a little bit, but it comes and goes kind of thing. But yeah,
it needs a Criterion or something.
I would love. I mean, if Francis Ha's on there, you could easily put that up. So here's the thing: with,
standard blue, even if they wanted to go that route, I would take it.
I have the standard blue. It's just it's not in print anymore. Like a lot of the Searchlight mid 2010s movies.
They need the Sony Pictures Classics box set style.
Honestly,
of an anniversary.
There'd be a great box to get out of that if you did that.
Right, and they don't have to do any of the Wes Andersons now because they have their own box sets.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Baumbach. Like I found him to be very acerbic in his early films. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I like Squid and the Whale, but even then, it's still like a lot. It's very specific and mean. Where once he met Gerwig and they became, a couple. Francis Ha is so much lighter. This movie's so much lighter. Even Marriage Story, for as dramatic as it is still fun. It's like it's entertaining to watch that movie.
Yeah,
and I really like this period of Baumbach a lot. Where Margot at the wedding, I'm like, I can't stand hanging around these fucking people at all. Like, there's just
you're right, and they were more pretentious a bit. Which I don't think pretentious is a bad thing, but they were more wearing it on its sleeve than they were comfortably setting in.
It's a deliberate, it's a directorial choice that I get. Greenberg was like a bridge of the gap for me as far as he's leaning away.
I like that one a lot.
I do too, and that's where he first met Gerwig, right? So that's I'm getting, and that's where I because I knew her from Baghead and was it the Stairs, whatever.
Hannah Takes the Stairs.
Hannah Takes the Stairs. Yeah. So I knew Gerwig a lot from that mumblecore scene, but seeing
House of the Devil gets her head blown off.
House of the Devil, yep, sure does, and she eats
pizza. Yeah.
You
remember that pizza scene? Oh my god,
such a specific way she eats it, where it's hard to forget that she eats pizza a very weird way.
Anyway. I don't want to get into that movie too much, but the way they decked out that pizza place totally sells the Ty West pioneered that fucking 80s nostalgia shit, and he doesn't. He really did. Credit. He doesn't.
It was new and neat when he did it.
He didn't do it. He didn't wink either, or do any go overboard. So, anyways, moving on.
But the Baumbach of it all. I like this period a lot. And if you want to say this movie is slight to a degree as far as what it's trying to say versus some of his other movies, that's entirely fair. I do think Francis Ha and Marriage Story feel like. Annie Hall in Manhattan, where this is Sleeper or Love and Death, but it's those are fucking funny movies. So they're great. So it's hard for me to be oh no, it's not quite as good or whatever because it doesn't have that little extra something at the top. But I have such a blast watching this movie.
He has made a lot of good movies, but we cannot expect each of his films to be as good as Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. And I'm only half kidding. That is the best of that trilogy.
Someday I'll get the courage to watch 2, and then I did not like 1, so
I had to watch 1 20 times, so I've never moved on. Scott and I have seen 1 way too many times.
You didn't see anything. No, jokes aside, Madagascar is that weird DreamWorks trilogy where it literally gets better every movie.
I'll take your word for
they
it.
peak with part 2.
I look forward to the live action remake.
Oh my god!
Get Noah back.
I want Ben Stiller in mocap walking around.
I want them in furry costumes.
It would be
That's
spaghetti.
I want to see.
The movie. Oh, that's so good. Well, I think you know what. I don't have to come up with a clever segue for this because I think these first 2 movies we have kind of work together in a neat kind of way as we go to People, Places, Things, opening in 19 theaters.
Charlie.
Oh, wait. It's not what you think.
I think you've been having sex.
Okay. It is what you think.
I'm still getting over my ex.
Come on, I want you to meet my mom.
Where are you from?
New Zealand.
I go see all the Hobbit movies, so.
Oh, so you know all about us and our ways. Going to punch you.
Please don't hit me in the face.
Oh, that was my ear, man.
You said not the face.
The ear is the face.
Directed by Jim Strauss, written by Jim Strauss, starring Jermaine Clement, Andrea and Gia Gatsby. They're great. Stephanie Aline, is it Aline? Aline? Michael Chernus again?
The Chernus up.
Back-to-back movies even in the episode. I'm going to be sad when he doesn't appear in our next one. Jessica Williams and Regina Hall. Will Henry is a newly single graphic novelist balancing parenting, his young twin daughters, and a classroom full of students while exploring and navigating the rich complexities of new love and letting go of the woman who left him. Scott, let's go with you. People, places, things.
I very much enjoyed this picture. It did very much feel like sort of a newfangled in the Woody Allen sandbox, and that's neither criticism nor compliment, but it's just a really enjoyable, low-key, small stakes character comedy that really threads the line in terms of characters who make mistakes and potentially do bad things without being bad people. And some of the conflict and or drama comes from balancing that line. But beyond that, it's Jermaine is delightful here. I like the fact that he is portrayed as a very good teacher, even if he's not like a Robin Williams and Dead Poet Society kind of saint.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good teacher. I can see why he is successful. I mean, and that's hard to do sometimes in like TV and movies. It's either they're like incompetent or they're like saints. Or they grab a baseball bat and beat up the students, but whatever. And I enjoyed seeing this early Jessica Williams. The movie that she would do, same writer director, I think. It's like the first Netflix original comedy that I actually liked.
Yes.
I say comedy because Beasts of No Nation, while it has some laughs, it's more love to drama.
Mm-hmm.
Regina Hall is wonderful and just a slice of life performance. And this is, a what you see is what you get movie, but I think it is it's just good. It is funny. It is insightful. It is sympathetic and empathetic. It is self-critical in terms of its characters, owning up to their shit when it needs to be. And without going into details, I like the way it ends, where it's like, it's an internal growth without really any guarantee that any external factors will change that much for the better, because life goes on. As the lead says, or is implied to have said several times, happiness is not a sustainable thing. And yeah, I this is slipped through the cracks. I had never seen this one before, but I really enjoyed it.
Counterpoint, Aaron.
There's no counter. I had seen it before, and I was delighted to see that this was on the list because I also really like this movie a lot. It's the kind of thing where it's like what you're saying, Scott. It's slice of life. It's doing nothing outrageous or outlandish as far as how it's presenting its story. It just happens to have a very solid cast and good writing to elevate the material, so it just makes it better by default. This is, I believe, the first example of Jessica Williams makes things better, because that's just truth when it comes to her in movies. Look at just the last Fantastic Beasts movie, for example. I mean, it's just like you add her to something and suddenly it just like becomes better. I'm a big fan of hers. I like that she's...
Yeah, I was mad at her for that. No, stop making this movie good.
I like that she's the star of his next movie, The Incredible Jessica James, because I think that's a very good movie as well, with Chris O'Dowd and her. But this movie, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Flight of the Conchords, so just seeing Jermaine pop up in things, it just excites me in general.
Avatars, Jermaine.
I mean, when he pops up in Avatar, I'm like, hey, Jermaine's here. That's fun. When he pops up in Mithrigan 2.0, I'm like, oh, that's fun. This movie, I'm like, great. When I saw it originally, I was like, I wanted to. It's nice to see him do. He's playing the central character, which means he can't just be like, a wild card comedy hero person like he is in other supporting roles in other movies. Here, he has to, hold up the dramatic narrative, and it works. He's a good actor. It works in that regard. It's funny, but he has good relationships with his student, played by Jessica Williams, and the other students in his class, and Regina Hall, who is really lovely here as well. Like, it's nice to see her. Like, it's not a start, but it's certainly, having seen her in so many more outlandish comedies, getting to see her in something like this or Girls Trip, where they're more grounded roles for her to play, despite whether or not they have kind of broader comedy elements in it. It's nice to see her show just how capable she is. What's it? Support the Girls comes out around this time as well, which is a fantastic movie, and she's fantastic in it. So like all of that, seeing good actors do good acting in a movie like this is a treat when the writing supports it. So it's not just me accepting the fact that, hey, yeah, I know they can act well, but there's something there that just makes it just so likable. And so like I like the time I'm having spending with these characters in a way where even if it's only 90 minutes, it's like, oh, that's it. Okay. But like it just flows in a way that's just really, really warm and acceptable. So yeah.
New one for me as well. Again this week, Jermaine's great in this. It was quite a nice surprise. I really love, like Scott, you were talking about how the display of him as a teacher, how they don't make, he's good, but it's like they're not like, oh, this guy changed my life. I like the display of him as a husband and father in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
And I like how they catch him in this whole like, I wasn't expecting this in life, so I don't know what I'm doing in life. And I think this movie does better than I've seen in maybe any other movie of the fairness between the split parents. Because at the beginning, it's a lot of get your ass off, get off your ass or do stuff. And then, I want to spend more time with my kids, like it's just randomly. But then towards the end of the movie, when he's starting to get shit together, he's seeing that he thought he had to be a certain way. And then she wasn't a certain way where he was holding her. And they were both honestly like, I don't know what I'm doing type thing. And I think that was kind of one of the best victories this movie has, is just being like, yeah, it's hard for everybody. They don't know what they're doing.
Messy. It's messy.
It's
messy. And everything doesn't get cleaned up very neatly by the end. It just presents as we're stronger than where we were, but we still have work to do, which I like. I like that kind of a movie.
And him and Chernus have a hilarious scene at the wedding where
he's like,
I'm going to hit you now. Like, okay, you hit me in the ear. Like, it was just
speaking of Fight Club.
Speaking of Fight Club. Yeah. It's just, it's really silly, really funny. And Jermaine just like works with everyone, and like everybody in this movie, you're like, I want more scenes of him with them. I want more scenes. And then him and Regina Hall, just off the charts. Great drama, great written scenes too. And great played out. Like when he goes to the door to confess to her and just like, I just being honest or whatever. And, it's great stuff. Like I could watch this movie again tomorrow and be just as happy with it. It's like for as difficult a subject matter as it encroaches, it's quite enjoyable and fun movie and endearing. Like it's really weird because this movie is handling constantly tough subject matter, but it's doing it with such grace that is just nobody approaches it with it. You'd think there'd be some dark scene or like, oh, this is where it turns, but it's not. I mean, and the movie's not overly fluffy comedy either. It's just kind of got a loose
very
tone
real.
to it.
Yeah.
Very real. And it's the people coming across as like, real and honest depictions and with the subject matter. Like I really, really like this. Criterion put this one out.
If you like this one, have you seen The Incredible Jessica James?
I can't remember. I probably haven't.
It's on Netflix. I mean, it's a very enjoyable watch as well. I like Jim Stroud.
Something that was rare in 2017 and sadly still rare in 2025. A good Netflix comedy.
Right. It's very interesting because you said like this Woody Allen like type movie, but it's also you also have your Ed Burns movies that like feel like this as well, which
that's where this falls really. Like Mistress America, I feel feels very indebted to Allen. This feels more like the 90s group of generation that
New York filmmakers,
that have watched Allen movies and have like tried to strike out on their own kind of thing. But no, Jim Strauss is a filmmaker. Like he made a movie with Sam Rockwell called Winning Season. It's like a basketball movie. That's like
I saw that one. Yeah,
very good.
That's it's good, perfectly fine. He made that. I think it's like a sappy John Cusack. Was it Grace Is Gone? The John Cusack movie.
Good.
Yeah,
And then it just recently did Love Again, which is like I watched it because I watched this. I'm like, what has he been doing? So I watched that one, which is I know Celine Dion has a supporting role. It's whatever. But but regardless, if there's filmmakers like this that make movies that don't go to theaters anymore, but can make these $15 million, I assume, at most kind of budget character comedy dramas. I like that. It's a very comfortable thing to have.
Yeah.
I wish they're all as good as this movie or Jessica did, but like that's a consistent kind of filmmaking I can enjoy getting to have every now and again. So
yeah. No, this is a quite like first. Yeah, I gotta say, spoiler, pretty good week of movies we have here this week.
Yeah.
Like doing all right. This we'll talk about it when we get to the end, but for sure. But let's take a break from movies and look at what's on TV this week. The ratings.
CBS Tuesday. Mardi Gras rocks New Orleans.
Big parties and big flows.
Until the unthinkable rocks their world.
First hour of a kidnapping is crucial.
Why are we here?
To confess. Start telling the truth. New NCIS New Orleans, CBS Tuesday, or stream it live or on demand.
All right. Number 1, NBC takes the crown with America's Got Talent. Number 2, 60 Minutes on CBS. Number 3, an NCIS repeat on CBS.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
Yeah. Number 4, a new episode of Zoo on CBS.
Ooh.
Placing in the top 5 this week, ratings were really down. American Ninja Warrior on NBC. That one has encroached. I think it made like a number 9 at one point, but it's been encroaching. Just needed a down week. Number 6, NCIS Los Angeles repeat on CBS.
Oh, man.
Number 7, Big Brother Sunday on CBS.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 8, NCIS New Orleans repeat on CBS.
All the NCISs are represented this week.
They're represented. They're here. Number 9, Big Brother Wednesday on CBS. And number 10, Big Brother Thursday on CBS.
Was American Ninja Warrior, that's NBC, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So if they had actually, stepped up and done a crossover with Hannibal might still be on the air.
Yeah, if like...
Well, Hannibal this week aired on Saturday night again with a 0.7 rating, 1 share, and 1 million. I'm sure it's rounded up 1 million viewers.
If Will Graham we just couldn't get the he couldn't get it out of his system. He's like, I'm gonna go on American Ninja Warrior to get rid of all this empathy that's inside of me. I need to get it out of there. So
Losers will be cooked and served by Hannibal Lecter this week.
Hannibal's there on the side, like, fucking go, Will, do it.
This week's
well done.
Entering the tournament, the Red Dragon.
And it's just this giant guy.
Yep. I always imagine
Red Dragon appears to be taking his shirt off for this. What is that on his back?
Holy shit! Those are awesome tattoos.
That keeps going, Fred.
His entrance music is like dun 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 dun.
Every time he like jumps to one of the things, he's like, "Do you see? Do you see?
Strong as I am. Strong as I am."
There's a tiger waiting for him at the end.
So on Sunday night, Fox aired the 17th annual Teen Choice Awards.
Good.
Not placing above an American Ninja Warrior, is it? Nope.
I don't want to see anybody with a surfboard.
Again, crossover.
Did better than Hannibal. Scream, the TV series, is actually airing on MTV during this summer.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, I was watching and pleasantly surprised. A lot better than I expected it to be. People bitching about the mask, but I'm like, if it's good, I don't care what the fuck they're wearing on their head.
I mean, I had to get over that bump.
Well, yeah.
Once I did, when I realized, the show's at least trying.
Yeah. Not a bad
Starring
show.
what's her name, Willa Fitzgerald, who would go on to be on Reacher season 1.
Yeah. Had the girl play Bullet in The Killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few people on there.
Yeah. So on Sunday night, Ion showed a Bond movie followed by a Die Hard movie.
Oh, man.
Of which were released exactly 10 years apart from one another. Do you know which entries they are?
GoldenEye and Casino Royale?
No.
I'm sorry, no, I meant GoldenEye and With a Vengeance. Casino Royale with a Vengeance.
No.
11 years.
Ooh, God damn, getting sassy.
What's Casino Royale?
Hold on, I'm thinking.
Is it 06?
13.
License to Kill and The World Is Not Enough.
No.
I keep thinking Bonds.
You keep doing two Bonds. It's a Bond and a Die Hard.
Let me get this.
You have less to choose from on Die Hards than you do Bonds.
Let me get it. I'm sorry. I'll get it together. Okay.
But they're
the Die Hard actor.
I'm just saying
Die Hard with a Vengeance and A View to a Kill.
Wrong.
Tomorrow Never Dies and Live Free.
Yes, correct. Yes. Well done, Aaron. Well done.
Wait, 10 years?
97 to 07.
97 and 07.
Oh, sorry, forgive me. I was thinking the other bad
technically one. 9 years and blah blah blah.
You're thinking A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't acknowledge that
Die Hard
existence.
4.0.
The last Die Hard, which
no, that's 16 blocks.
16 blocks.
16 blocks.
Technically
Yeah.
16 blocks. Yeah. What did that come out? That came out before Live Free or Die Hard. But they put the end before the It's like a flashback to like the last big adventure. All right. Now moving on to Straight Outta Compton.
If you had the chance to change the situation, would you take it?
Now I remember when we used to do all-nighters. You in the booth and Cube in the corner writing.
Hey Cube, what, you a poet now?
The flyest one, you know.
Having flashbacks. Open up my book, I think about the world later. No ink in the pen, no lines on the paper. I'm just talking to my diary.
We can keep going, man. We can take over the world.
Straight Outta Compton, in theaters August 14th, rated R.
Directed by F. Gary Gray. Written by Jonathan Herman, Andrea Berloff, on a story by Berloff, S. Lee Savage, and Alan Wankus. Starring O'Shea Jackson Jr., Corey Hawkins, Jason Mitchell, Neil Brown Jr., Aldous Hodge, R. Marcus Taylor, Kara Patterson, Alexandra Shipp, Paul Giamatti. Back for one last
round.
I'm going to get them this time. Elena Good and Lakeith Stanfield. The rap group NWA emerges from the mean streets of Compton in the mid-1980s and revolutionizes hip-hop culture with their music and tales about life in the hood. I'm going to say this first. This is the movie that, after its success, Scott convinced Vin Diesel himself to hire F. Gary Gray for Fate of the Furious.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Scott wrote an article, back that truck up into his yard.
And he made a perfectly competent action movie that made $1.2 billion.
I'm not saying for better or worse. I'm just saying I think Vin Diesel reads Scott's work.
I know he does. He's quoted me once or twice. Back in the day.
Yeah.
I like Mendelson.
Back in my peak of popularity.
So
I like Mendelson. He's good to women.
He seems like a Corona guy to me.
Hey, I like the return of Xander Cage.
There you go.
You do a lot.
As long as he doesn't ask me about The Last Witch Hunter, I'm okay.
There we go.
Or Babylon AD. Or A Man Apart.
Stop listing
or the
things.
Chronicles of Riddick. Or The Pacifier. Though weirdly enough, my wife loves that movie. I don't know why.
Very nice. So Aaron, we'll start with you. Straight Outta Compton.
This is a great example of why formula is not a bad thing. There is, in the realm of music biopics, a genre that I've gotten very tired of. Just this summer, I've praised Love and Mercy, also starring Paul Giamatti as a greedy manager, because it deliberately went against the grain as far as how to present a look at the life of musicians. It had a out of sync narrative. It played around with our lead character's point of view. It did a lot of interesting things that work in a way that I'm not used to seeing. Straight Outta Compton is not doing anything straight outside of the lines when it comes to what a music biopic typically looks like, as far as seeing the rise and fall arc, which makes a lot of sense when it comes to a lot of groups that form up for good reason, what have you, find early success,
complications arise, they break up, or whatever number of things happen to occur. It's for a movie, it's kind of a gift to have as far as that goes. So the fact that this movie is as good as it is a testament to why when you can apply that formula to a story that has a lot of unique facets to it, it can work tremendously. Whether or not that's for the sake of the audience or critically, look at something like Bohemian Rhapsody, for example, which has almost no drama whatsoever, except they just make up drama. Like it works for an audience. So there you go. This movie fortunately worked for critics and audiences, and it's easy to see why. We can talk about the things it trims around as far as domestic abuse and other more controversial things that producers, Dr. Dre, did not want to have necessarily at the forefront of the film. And it's entirely fair to have that conversation. It doesn't make things better or worse that you have to dance around certain things in order to make a, you know, basically, even though it's very R-rated, all quadrant summer movie, or at least a movie that appeals to a wide audience. Obviously, there's certain concessions you have to make. I get that. Doesn't make it right necessarily, but like I understand the way. Regardless, the movie works because it has so much authenticity in play as far as how it's presenting these people, the incredibly strong casting. That's not just to say that like O'Shea Jackson Jr. looks so much like Ice Cube, therefore he's good. He's very good in this movie. Corey Hawkins is really good in this movie. What's his name that plays because he's what's his name? The other lead, Easy Jason Mitchell. Jason Mitchell, who unfortunately has gone through his own career stuff that's caused him to not be in many things anymore. He's very good in this movie. There's such strong work going on with this cast and presenting this specific time period, and it's the fact that it's coming from F. Gary Gray, a director I really like. I don't need to compare like competent black directors against each other, but as opposed to Anton Fuqua, whose films tend to go hit or miss for me, I really like F. Gary Gray. I think he's a very consistent director that managed to come out of the music video world, give me Friday, which I think is a 90s comedy classic, and then go on to do Set It Off.
Set It Off, Smoking Lethal Warrior.
and various other films that I just quite enjoy. Also A Man Apart. But this movie, no, I think he is very much within his own territory here as far as working with guys that literally he grew up with, and now he's making the biopic about them. It's very fitting. You get these, wonderful music scenes, obviously, where they're actually putting together the raps for the first time or whatnot, when whether they're in the studio or just figuring things out. The movie is comfortably long. Like, it doesn't feel like it's overextending its welcome, but I do think it rightfully takes its time to do all the things it tries to set out to do. And it's not afraid to be an R-rated music biopic. It's not like mountains of reasons to give it an R rating, but it's fine being representing what it's trying to represent without having to compromise in any way for that shape or fashion. Also, just as a bonus, Lakeith Stanfield's in this movie for like 10 minutes as Snoop, and he's fucking terrific.
He is amazing.
He's so good as Snoop Dogg, and it's like, well, where's that spin off? But of course, I don't know if we'll ever get it because we still haven't gotten. We've set up the Scott's favorite thing about all of this, the Suge Knight equals Thanos cinematic universe going on here between this and the eventual Tupac movie that came out. But we seem to have stalled in continuing that epic saga that will bring us all together against Suge Knight.
Fucking Avengers traveled through time and robbed us of what we deserved.
It would have been great, but things are what they are. But no, I'm a big fan of this film. I think it doesn't do enough to I don't know, like excel to some other like amazing superior level in the same way that certain other music biopics do that have kind of stood the test of time to become classics. But in terms of just a really good example of one, I think this is very much that.
Gotcha. Scott, tell us why we need more Bohemian Rhapsodies and less NWA movies.
Well, I'd be okay with more NWA movies if it was willing to dig deep and explain exactly how the CIA apparently financed 80s hip-hop as a diabolical scheme to corrupt American youth. So I've been hearing all of a sudden on TikTok, so I'm sure it's true. Anyway, jokes aside, I think the movie overall is very good. If I have a criticism, it's a relative one, which is I think most of what sets this film apart in terms of who it's about, the time and place in which it takes place, and the demographic specificity takes place in the first third to first half of the picture. And I found the back half, while good, a bit more of, okay, this is more of a 8 by numbers rise and fall musical biopic, because I would argue to a certain extent they got the interesting stuff out of the way at the beginning of the story. And again, maybe that's how it happened. I don't know. That being said, it's still a solid 3-star picture. And, God, I'm still saying this 10 years ago or 10 years later that it's great to watch a historical biopic that's recent enough that you don't have to watch the characters react to the JFK assassination. I am so fucking tired of biopics where they have the characters react to the JFK assassination. JFK, the movie, was 30 years ago.
Including Jackie. Like, what the hell? Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Exception to the rule. But I mean, when this came out, again, not to be a broken record, this is another film, both in terms of its existence, the fact that it was treated by the studio as not under programming, but as an A-level event movie, and that it was received as an A-level event movie. This felt like the future. And again, the fact that this really didn't lead to much other than a pretty lousy 2-pack movie that opened pretty well.
How many packs?
I forget how many, but all eyes were on it. That's for sure.
There we go. 2-pack shaker? 2-pack shaker?
Anyway, that one is not a good movie, all due respect. And that one's, oh my God, that makes this film look completely unvarnished and unauthorized in terms of what is or isn't sanitized.
That is definitely Wikipedia comes to life, minus a few like controversy sections.
That is one of my favorite of your jokes. Without saying that all of your other jokes were bad, that is one of my favorites.
I like to think it's my own. Like you have your Tomb Raider trap. I have Wikipedia.
Yeah. I think I was referring to like the Jesse Owens biopic that came out in early 2016.
Race. Yeah. Clever title. You see what they did there?
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. No. But no, I mean, in a vacuum, this is a solid picture. And the fact that, for me at least, it becomes more generic and less specific in the second half, that is almost the danger of formula. But you're not wrong in that, formula can still be used like Dope, which I think is I love Dope. That is a formula that is made new and fresh and interesting by virtue of whose story is being told. And yeah, I think it's a good film, and I joke about The Fate of the Furious not being my favorite Fast and Furious movie, but offhand, that's one of my only of his movies that I don't like. And even aside the fact of him being black, which obviously is no small thing, even beyond that, he stood out as a 90s craftsperson that somehow survived the death of the studio programmer in the descent into all tentpoles all the time, in that he's still kicking. And, it's when you think of the kind of movies that, gosh, we miss them, The Negotiator, that is almost a definitive case of the kind of just well-made studio programmer that they just don't make anymore. And he used to be very good at those kind of movies.
He's a good studio guy, because like I'm looking at his thing now. I was like, I mean, it's not like there's that many films I like of his more than, I know I keep bringing Anti-Fuqua into it, but like there's just something about like, it doesn't seem like he's like a Ron Howard, like I just find he's a very likable person that makes movies that sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But like I don't. When I see F. Gary Gray's name on a movie, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like there's a reliability there that I can get behind.
On one hand, he did not direct a biopic about Hitler Jr. that may have played a role in destroying American democracy, but he directed Be Cool. So
I was going to say the same movie.
There you go.
He did make Be Cool.
No, I mean, I don't love Men in Black International, but I think Be Cool is by far his worst film.
I mean, a man apart.
Again, is it good? No, but it's sort of a meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
they don't make them anymore. It's a to be film.
Be Cool is very disappointing. Be Cool is very disappointing on the same. That said, it's one of the Rock's best performances in that movie. It's
really true. Cool. Back when he would try. No, I also I like Straight Outta Compton. I do think I agree with Aaron. Like this is where formula can be good, but it's also still formula. I like it's funny. We've gone from What's Love Got to Do with It to this, and I feel like this movie, as formulaic as it is, and it's kind of but like it's a breakthrough, I think, for like black entertainer biopics, because they kind of shy away from the trouble. Like there's troubling things that happen to people, but these are the the glamorous ones that they tend to do the biopics on, and this is like the ruthless, like kind of there's like it. I mean, there's rock and roll, but then there was this sort of like hip hop stuff that was not a praised genre at the time it was coming up, and these guys were especially not, because they were doing having violence and a negative outlook.
They were being paid by the CIA to destroy black youth.
Right.
Obviously.
There you go. Obviously. No, that was Nixon actually back in the 70s. But
it's like what you're choosing to focus on, where you look at something like what's love got to do with it. It's like, yes, there's a very obvious thing there as far as the literal abuse that's taking place, and that's a big part of that story. There's a lot of different facets of Straight Outta Compton, and if it means dialing down some of that personal stuff in favor of propping up this is what it's like to be in the ghetto. These are the politics going on. This is the the racial plays being played against them. Like that stuff it's not only interesting, it's not dealt with in mainstream movies.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like this very often. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like they're recording in a studio, and a shooting's going on outside at one point in the movie. I will say one of the things that happens in that I had a mentor in high school with like filmmaking and stuff, teacher, but like he informed me, like I think there was like a biopic that I saw and I really liked. I was like, "You see this?" Like, I'll get to it. I'm like, "Oh, you don't want to see it," but he informed me, he's like, one day you're gonna grow up and there's gonna be biopics that happen that you live through, and it's like really strange, can be really strange to watch, or they can come off a little goofy than the ones that you didn't live through, because you're going to be like, oh, they had to check off this, but they're checking off and this one kind of gets in that territory a lot with me, because it's like, oh, well, this is when they come up with this song or this, and it feels like too easy, no pun intended, with that, but at times, and especially there's a scene where Eazy-E's in the hospital and Bone Thugs and Harmony comes to visit him, and that's like. And at that point, that scene kind of feels like overstuffed things in this, but like they want this to like people in the theater, someone to like lean over and be like, they're gonna go right at the crossroads after that's what they kind of want with that. But but they do get most of this right, and it's compelling and good stuff. And I like Corey Hawkins a lot, so it's cool to see him as Dr. Dre, and then like. Lakeith, of course, comes in and kills it. One of the best actors working today, by far. And this is kind of where he lifted off a bit. Was this Snoop performance?
Well, it's because it's such an afterthought kind of performance, right? But like it's because he's like he's got short-term 12s around this.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, right.
Atlanta's going to start in a cut like a year from now or something. Like he's just. But
this is the launch of this is building him.
He's in Dope. He's got a lot of supporting roles at this time also.
Right. He was in Dope. That's right. Yeah, we just watched that.
He's in Get Out a couple years later. Also, like he's slow, but again, like Atlanta.
And Scott's favorite Haunted Mansion. Don't forget, he's going to go on to do that.
A Ghoulish Delight.
A Ghoulish Delight.
What idiotic critic said that?
Yeah.
Someone.
So, this movie also had great freaking marketing. So if we're going to dial it back to this, the trailer was energetic. Like you'd have thought you were going to see like the new summer action movie with how good that trailer played. And then it also played into the social media and like the Straight Outta thing was everywhere. You can still buy shirts that say straight out of some lame hometown that you were from. Like, and that it was just genius. And like, you knew this movie was going to do well, and then people were psyched for it. And yeah, I do think while they do hold back on some things, there is a quite honest picture. Like, there's the hotel room scene with the Felicia. Oh, they had to add the by Felicia in there. Remember, that's what I'm talking about. That, like, really, okay.
But that's fun.
It is fun.
Like, it's an elaborate gag to build up to by
right.
Felicia. That's
right.
It's not like
it's not. It's coming right the minute they say, "Where's Felicia?" You're like, "Oh shit, they're gonna."
But it's still like it's such a specific reference to make where Bone Thugs and Harmony coming in or whatnot, or even when it tries to be a little self-aware and it has Ice Cube writing Friday, and and then he laughs at his own. He's like, "That's hilarious." It's like,
well, and then even though they get this scary moment with Paul Giamatti and the guy in his lawn, like that's freaking scary. It's just like, jeez,
like, yeah, like obviously there are things that it does as far as showing the reality of the situation.
Right.
It's just like it's there's a lot of stuff because Dr. Dre's he's more or less a saint in this movie compared to real life and compared to some of the other characters. Like,
he might be at the bad events, but he's not partaking.
Yeah, Ice Cube's more or less presented as faithfully as possible, which makes a lot of sense given that it's his own kid playing Ice Cube.
Right.
Like, Dr. Dre actually did some shit, and the movie like kind of skirts a little bit, or not a little bit. It skirts around it enough to get the people involved to be like, "Hey guys, we got some questions about this movie."
It boils down to a woman in a car that he's trying to record, and he goes out and talks to, and she's like, and it drives off. That's about the biggest conflict he runs into.
But the Eazy-E stuff is great. Jason Mitchell is very good as Eazy-E, and the relationship he has with Giamatti, I think it's really strong. Like, it's strong enough where you're like, man, they're like, there's real emotion coming out of this thing that's just this guy that happens to like really want to think this manager might be trying to do the best for him, but he's clearly not. Like, it's just there's enough there. There's enough meat on that bone.
He's not. He's like not doing the best, but he's going to protect him at all costs. Like, it's a weird like, you gotta let me screw you over, but you're never gonna fail. Like, you're never gonna like, it's crazy.
But, with Love and Mercy, Giamatti's so like, it's more obvious evil there at play. Not that it's bad, but like, it's just presented in a way where it's like there's no other way around what's going on here.
Right.
Where this movie, it feels more complicated. Like, yes, he's taking money, he's profiting off of this thing, but he does seem to have a genuine care for Eric specifically.
Right? Yeah. No, he
does seem to have
there. And there is a certain. What I appreciate is, there is a certain like, is he skimming off the top, or are they just paranoid, or because it's. And again, Occam's razor, but it is it's a performance from a kind of sort of shady character that doesn't think of themselves as being a shady character.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe I'm taking a little for myself or a lot, but it's like, he's not wrong when he says, I basically found you out of, I found you in a waitress in a cocktail bar. This much is true.
But what it helps is that you have these different perspectives looking at him. So you have E.T., but you also have Ice Cube, who's like, when are we going to get like our contracts and everything? Like, I have legitimate questions because I'm smart enough to know how this business works, and he's sidestepping him. Like, there's shades there that I really like. That stuff that works. Like, as far as, which is again why it's like, if you're trying to balance, NWA is not an easy band to do, right? It's why this movie took as long as it did to come out. Like, it's like you have to make that screenplay work so you can get these different iconic personalities within there, represent them well, find the right way to do it. And that's the stuff that like puts it slightly above for me when it comes to doing formula. Because yes, obviously the second half of any of these movies is always, the sad half, right? It's not fun anymore. Like, if the fun's gone now it's all the bad stuff that happens, and it's all very conventional, regardless of how well acted it is. But this movie has like certain details that just I'm happier watching this again than watching, I don't know, any number of these fucking biopics. I don't need to see that. I just like stop having fun watching after a while.
True.
That's why I liked Elvis. I liked Elvis because it stayed. I wouldn't say necessarily stayed fun, but like the downside of it was still like it still had that pizzazz that kept me like in the moments.
Lots of
it was very obviously, because of who directed it. It's very energetic throughout, and
and Elvis didn't have like, obviously his popularity goes a certain direction, but he doesn't have like this terrible falling out period in the same way that certain other groups do.
Yeah.
You know what we need is the crossover where the Colonel manages NWA. Played by Tom Hanks again.
I'd watch that.
But bigger and louder.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Sorry, what did you say, Aaron?
But bigger and louder.
No, we have the
3D.
Colonel. We have the Colonel managing Lakeith Stanfield as Snoop.
That's Snoop Dogg.
That's
Snoop
the movie
Dogg?
we get. Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, let's keep on the music train here.
Will it star Sacha Baron Cohen as Freddie Mercury?
No, he'll be Mephisto.
That's the alternate universe movie I want to see. What's the biopic that came out that was really recent that felt really, as you mentioned biopics that kind of
Bob Dylan.
No, the one that's not. I mean, recently as far as a subject that's like within the past like decade or so. What came out that I'm not thinking?
I know. I know there is one.
It's not Steve
I like
Jobs.
Dumb Money, partially because it was.
That's what it was. Dumb Money.
Dumb
it was
Money.
Dumb Money because that was like 5 years ago. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it was jolting. I mean, it was terrific. I mean, I think the rest of the movie is fine, just because not every interesting story is inherently cinematic, but whatever.
Yeah, that was my exact take on the film.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep with music and heading to the Ryan Seacrest Top 10.
Broadcasting worldwide from the heart of Hollywood.
The hits and the stars who make them.
This is American Top 40.
Here's your host, Ryan Seacrest.
Here we go. Seacrest with you. The 40 biggest songs in the USA.
This week, number 10, falling one spot, Walk the Moon with Shut Up and Dance. Number 8, jumping up or falling down one spot as well, Rachel Platten, Fight Song. Also falling one more spot, My Way, Fetty Wap featuring Monty. And then another falling one spot, Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. So 7 and 8. Number 6, jumping up 4 spots so they all could fall down. Lean On, Major Lazer and DJ Snake featuring Mo. Number 5, staying strong here, Charlie Puth, Wiz Khalifa, See You Again. They're all the same top 5. So Bad Blood at number 4, Taylor Swift with Kendrick Lamar. Number 3, Watch Me, Salento, now convicted and in prison. And 2, Can't Feel My Face, The Weeknd. And number 1, Cheerleader by O.M.I. or Omi. Don't remember. So now we go to our main feature this week, which is the man from U.N.C.L.E. or Uncle.
It is the responsibility of both the United States and the Soviet Union to help make the world safe.
Shall we?
You have a new code name. Uncle.
The Man from Uncle. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX. August 14th.
Directed by Guy Ritchie. Written by Guy Ritchie and Lionel Wigram. On a story by Jeff Kleeman, David C. Wilson, Guy Ritchie, and Lionel Wigram. Based on a television series created by Sam Rolfe. Starring Henry Cavill. Army Hammer! Back from the Entourage movie. Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth.
Big Army Summer.
Yeah. Summer of the Hammer. Hammer time. Elizabeth Debicki, Luca Calvani, Hugh Grant, Christian Burkle, and Jared Harris. In the early 1960s, CIA agent Napoleon Solo, no relation to Han, and KGB operative Ilya Kuryakin participate in a joint mission against a mysterious criminal organization which is working to proliferate nuclear weapons. All right. Scott. Man from Uncle.
It's fine. It's I had a good time with it. I think at its best, it's sort of a weird what if Daniel Craig Bond teamed up with Roger Moore Bond to save the world in Cold War, whatever. And it's very pulpy. It's very colorful. It's very chipper and light on its feet. I think Henry Cavill is as good as he's ever been in this picture, especially as a stereotypical matinee leading man kind of thing. It's like, I don't need to see him be Bond because I've seen Man from U.N.C.L.E. He did it already.
And he did Mission Impossible Fallout, so we've seen him spy it up. CIA and spy.
Beyond that, I think it's a very unassuming picture. And I like the fact that Elizabeth Debicki is this dynamic supervillain in a way that felt kind of unique 10 years ago and unfortunately would still probably feel unique today. I like that up until the very end of the picture, it's not particularly violent. It's sort of subtle spycraft that doesn't, need violence to move its story along. If anything, it's almost disappointing when it becomes a stereotypical, the good guys invade the fortress, machine gun everybody kind of movie. To be fair, you can say that about any number of James Bond films. I think it's a picture that, it's hard to separate the film from how it performed commercially, for me anyway, because on one hand, it's good, it's fun. Maybe I would have liked to have seen more of these, but it's also the kind of film that on paper was sort of everything that was wrong with Hollywood then and now. And that you had IP for the sake of IP. You had two white male movie stars that weren't.
It's an all-white cast, Scott.
Yeah, that too. And it got its ass kicked by a movie that then and now was not conventional wisdom about what allegedly makes money in Hollywood. And I do find it weird noting that, the online social media is a bubble, blah, 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 that many of the same people that say, we want more inclusion, we want more diversity, et cetera, they still say, where's my Man from U.N.C.L.E. sequel? Like, you can't have it both ways. You really can't. I mean, I that being said, as a movie, it is well made. It is fun. It is very slight, intentionally so. In a year of very good spy films that brought something new or interesting to the table, this is not one of those. Although that's not necessarily a criticism. That's just why it's a 3-star whatever. I've seen it twice in theaters. Once just on a whim a few years ago, once for this podcast again. And it's a trifle. It's an enjoyable trifle. It's it's I like the anti-chemistry between Cavill and Armie Hammer. I think it's one of the few times that Armie Hammer is well used as a lead. Or because they're not trying to make him the next Luke Skywalker and or Han Solo in a given picture.
Because he only has 3 times that they've tried to make him a lead also.
Yeah. Well, we already have a Solo in this. That's Henry Cavill, so they weren't trying to.
Yes.
But to Hammer's credit, there weren't many movies that he got that were leads. He got this and Lone Ranger and what else?
And honestly, I think to a certain extent, and I don't want to give him too much credit, regardless of his alleged off-screen transgressions, he did seem to be using a guy that was using his status as an alleged white male movie star to give capital to stuff like Sorry to Bother You and Birth of a Nation and what have you. I don't know whether that was just virtue or whether because he was smart enough to know that these are interesting projects to be associated with. Who knows? But he was someone that wasn't just using his alleged stardom to try to make the Lone Ranger over and over again.
Yeah. Well, he did do stuff like Free Fire, which is really cool. That's
that's another one.
He took weirder roles. That's why outside of the hammer of it all, I do wonder what it's not like he was Taylor Kitsch where he got all of the chances or whatnot. It's what did he actually get? He got Lone Ranger, which makes a level of sense to give him one. And then he got a co-lead in a Richie movie that's weirder than, it's an August
release. Reasonably budgeted.
It goes on to Call Me By Your Name, too.
Compared to, I don't know, a Ryan Reynolds, who gets many, 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 many chances before he finally hits big. I'm he didn't really get many tries at bat compared to others. This episode sponsored by the Armie Hammer podcast.
Yes.
For the record, Aaron Neuwirth thinks Armie Hammer should have a giant Hollywood comeback.
That's what I keep saying. You should take a bite out of that Hollywood time and see where he lands.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming soon, Magazine Dreams, Legacies.
Oh man.
Sorry, that was meaner than it sounded in my head.
Yeah.
For the record, in a vacuum, I do like Magazine Dreams. I think it's an interesting picture. But anyway,
actor's that good, regardless of
yeah. But yeah, on its own merits, I think it's a fun, enjoyable, weightless example of the kind of film that tried to capitalize on Bond back in the 60s. It literally, in this case, more or less. It was a TV show, I think. But it's also sort of IP for the sake of IP, with represented the kind of thing that Hollywood fatally hurt itself by constantly prioritizing over what actually would make money back when people still went to the movies, just go to the movies. Now I'll shut up.
All right, Aaron.
I agree with Scott as far as saying it's a trifle. Like, I'm a big Guy Ritchie fan. Like, I think more than most, it seems. Like, I don't know why it became out of favor to dislike, or at least kind of wash away what Lock, Stock, and Snatch did. But, like, those movies rule. Like, I love those movies. And I love Rock and Rolla a lot. A more diverse version of those movies. But and I'm a big fan of the Sherlock films. Like, I like Guy Ritchie doing Guy Ritchie things. The idea that he's just all style is like, well, what? I mean, have you seen other blockbusters that are no style? Like, I mean, what do you want here? Like, do you want bland and bland, or bland and style at least at that? So, like, I was looking forward to this quite a bit because I'm like, fuck yeah, give Guy Ritchie a '60s spy flick or whatever. Like, why would I not want that? So, if anything, I don't want to say, like, I don't think mildly disappointed is the right word for it, but like, I wasn't as like enthusiastic as I was about other Ritchie films I had seen, and even since then, I like the Jason Statham one, Operation Fortune a lot. I like the Ministry. I like the other Henry Cavill one a whole lot. The Ministry of Gentlemen and the Covenant, just because that's something different.
Yeah, that's very good.
Like, I like those more than Uncle. Meanwhile, it seems like the world grasped on, or at least a niche part of the internet grasped onto Uncle as being his best movie, and I'm like, I have it ninth. Like, I think it's fun. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I'm happy to watch it, but it does feel, even by Ritchie standards, more slight than others. It doesn't have much juice for me beyond when I'm in the moment watching it, I'm enjoying it. It's certainly stylish, but it's like, yeah, it's a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, I expect it to be that, because it's a period film. I can understand that there's a novelty there that's certainly worthwhile as far as seeing the costumes and the kinds of cars and whatnot they're using. The fact that it kind of plays things low key, especially in the first two acts, as far as the action goes. Like, there's a whole action sequence where there's like a big boat thing happening in the background while they're in the foreground. That's really fun. There's a lot of stuff like that, which again is not too out of place for Guy Ritchie movies. This one just happens to have a bigger budget, so it can make it feel more elaborate, but it just feels par for the course for him. I have nothing against the movie. Like, it's the chemistry, the anti-chemistry, like you said, I think is really interesting. I think it's a fun way to play it up. I've never seen the show, by the way. Like, I know of it. I've never seen an episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm sure it's a fine show. I like everything about what it's about. I just never sat down and watched it. But if you're gonna update something like that, this is the kind of thing I like Guy Ritchie doing. Like, when he's in the zone and he has some writers with him, which he's had lately, like, he can make some cool and original ideas. Like again, I like the Ministry of whatever, super long,
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare,
super very commercial
part one,
that very commercial title that he had.
Right.
But no, when he's attached to like IP, like, he seems like a guy that, not unlike Matthew Vaughn, like, I could see Guy Ritchie knocking out like an X-Men. Like, I don't know why he hasn't been, or if he has. I mean, his one was Aladdin, which made him $1 billion, so he can do whatever he wants now for the rest of his life.
Right.
But like, so it's like, but I do like, and obviously the Sherlock films are like IP as well. Like, I like him in this kind of mode where because he's very capable at this thing. He can take stuff that you've liked in the past and give it a Ritchie spin, which I think is a spin that I like quite a bit. So with this one, yeah, like, it does the job. It's also very sexy. I haven't talked about that at all, but like, Vikander and Hammer have a really interesting chemistry in this movie that I think works really well, where she's like this, she's this kind of wild card character that's feisty, and he's Armie Hammer playing the most stoic person possible, and like they're the ones that are kind of like attached to a degree, and like that stuff's fun. Hugh Grant being like in semi-retired mode where you can just pop in and say like four lines and
right.
deliver them with like excellence in the kind of way you're like, this guy fucking rules at this. Like he's so good at this kind of thing. Like that's what. And yeah, Debicki, all 9'4" of her, she's fantastic.
Have you seen Tenet in 70mm IMAX?
Yeah.
Like if you thought she was huge. Tall before, yeah. Jesus, she like.
It's weird that her head was still cut off at the top of the frame.
Right. She's like the Muppet Babies. Like
but at the end, after she disposes of Kenneth Branagh's body, and then she jumps into the pool, I'm like, oh, she's gonna flip over that boat with the splash.
Yeah.
Gonna cause a rogue wave. But no, I very much enjoy this movie. I think I like it lesser than the public at large that actually saw this movie, but I certainly think it's enjoyable.
Gotcha. I like this movie too. Like I liked it when I saw it back then. I was like, oh, this is more fun than I was like. My expectations for it were kind of like, yeah, and I really liked it. I don't remember the response to it when it came out being positive, but now I've gone on like, I go on social media and there's people praising it all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, you guys were not around back then, but
I think it went from like a good, like we like this more than we
now it's like
Sherlock, even though Sherlock got good reviews also at the time.
Yeah.
But it's gone from we like this is a step up for Richie to this is his best. Like it's got this weird like internet traction.
It's one of those weird movies that's gone from slightly underrated to vastly overrated.
Yeah, there you go.
And
it's the Jennifer body of Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah,
that's my line.
It's not in that wheelhouse of like Dread where it just like people like came out and like it was fine and then like people don't shut up about it. It's like all of a sudden come back. I think relatively recently been coming back as that, but like I don't think of this as a Guy Ritchie movie much at all. Like, and I think I have to wonder if they're saying that in that same way that people say about like when people say Miller's Crossing's their favorite Coen Brothers movie, like the one that's lacking a lot of the stuff that makes them what they are, and that's why people think it's cool to say that. But this one's
hold on. Wait, explain that again. I'm trying to understand this.
So there's a lot of people out there that there's a thing like people say Miller's Crossing's the best Coen Brothers movie because it's lacking a lot of some of the goofiness. It's still very Coen Brothers movie, but that's like that's the like, least.
That's such
like,
a supreme Coen movie to me. Like
no. There's a whole thing about this. Like that's why people say that, and they don't care much.
I think that's the anti-Coen movie
or something. Yeah. No, it's this thing. I've seen it.
I get it. It's just that's a wild.
So
take.
Maybe that's like that, but like. This is spy fantasy. That's my favorite genres ever. So, and it's got the travelogue to it. I think everybody in this is fun in a way that other directors have failed to get out of them. Cavill's quite good. Hammer, this one kind of, like we talked figures out, but Kander, if she'd have at least a bit of this jolt of fun with her in Tomb Raider, maybe that's a better movie even as is.
I think she is much better than the movie she is in.
Right. Yeah. True. But yeah, I really like her in this quite a bit. She's always good in like pretty much everything, but like this is a special one for that. And Debicki's deliciously evil in this as well.
Just delicious.
Just delicious as well. I like this. This is the kind of like IP pickup I like because it's based on an old property. It's what they did in like the 90s where like you pick up a TV property and try to spin it into a movie. But this works on a level where it's an IP, so we have somewhere to launch off easily. We don't have to come up with stuff. But this can be sold as something brand new to people. Like kids aren't knowing that this was a TV show in the 60s, 70s, and also spawned a bunch of reunion TV movies. But like, yeah, you can sell it as new. You can go, oh, I remember Man from U.N.C.L.E. But then a lot of people nowadays sit and go, really? They're gonna remake everything, aren't they? But I think a lot of young people going to this had no touch base on or care that this was based on something else.
Yeah, and I'm torn because you're right, and so in theory, it should be the kind of thing I would champion because it's a new to you kind of adaptation that's sort of standing on its own 2 feet. But, and this may be more commercial than artistic, it's like, because of that, it was DOA from the get-go. And it's sort of the long-term harm of the kind of films that get prioritized for theatrical release doesn't help in terms of encouraging people to keep going to the movies.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree with you there too. But yeah, this is one of those, I'm like, okay, I like this IP grab, but
like I Spy, which is a lesser movie, but I get why you would. It's not that bad. It's fine. Eddie Murphy gets to have fun at least. It seems in that movie, like the way he does it in others.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a similar role as far as who thinks about I Spy.
Well, yeah, it's less like I like this. I don't like Battleship. Like why are you doing? Now you're just trying to do everything with that.
I mean,
okay, Battleship boys forever. Well, okay.
No, but it's I get why
we found one.
But what I like conceptually, what I like about Battleship is that there is a freedom to do something with that, not unlike a Barbie. It's not like there's some strict thing that you have to do to make Battleship work. That's giving, ideally, screenwriters a ticket to be like, yeah, make something out of this.
I look what they did.
There's aspects of it that work.
They needed to dream a little bigger.
But in terms of potential versus that sounds like an awful idea. Tetris sounds like an awful idea. What the fuck is Tetris? It's building blocks that fall down.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Battleship, you can make a movie out of battleships. I get that. That makes sense to me.
Okay. Anyway.
If I had a better movie to back it with, sure. I could say Barbie. That's the easy example.
I said Battleship and you went straight to the defense. It was crazy.
Because I do think in theory, if you're in a room presenting this,
if someone said, "Hey,"
if you're in a room presenting a bunch of bullshit ideas and Battleship's one of them, I lean towards that over the fucking I love Tetris, but I lean to that over Tetris.
I get it. If you're in the writer's room and they come and say, "You got to write a movie," which are you doing? Are you doing Battleship or Trouble, the movie? And you're like, "Well, I'm doing Battleship."
Exactly.
I get that. But still, when we get to board, when we start getting to board games, that's when it's like, okay, not saying you can't.
We've been doing video games for decades and they suck.
Technically, we have Dungeons and Dragons. That's technically
good movie, but was an inevitable bomb.
Clue,
yeah. So
I don't think board games is inherently a bad thing to play off of.
I'm waiting for the R-rated horrific Hungry Hippo movie.
The point, I've been saying that for years. But you can make an adventure movie out of that. It'd be weird to call it Hungry Hippos.
I'm stunned we don't have Candyland.
They've been trying to do that
lack
for
of
years.
trying.
That and Monopoly have been around.
Yeah,
not unserious.
I know, but Monopoly's been around, but Candyland seems so easy.
But it's just the point that I'm making is if you're giving writers a chance to basically just do whatever they want to and explore something creatively that just happens to have a tangential connection to an idea that
Kool-Aid,
has juice to it, exactly like Kool-Aid starring ice.
Yeah. But yeah, though.
For what it's worth, I cannot speak to how Guy Ritchie is treated on the internet, but I think he's been pretty consistent. He's also been incredibly prolific in the last few years.
He's
prolific.
I swear, I feel like Aladdin gave him just this fire to be like, great. Let me just do whatever I want.
And he's gone back to that Lock, Stock, Snatch quite a few times recently.
He got Statham in 2 more movies for one thing.
Right.
I mean, got that there. The Gentleman's, not only was The Gentleman, I like The Gentleman fine, but it also spawned a TV show. He also has another Mobland, another TV show. He's also explored. He's done a World War II movie. He's done an Iraq War movie. He did the spy thing. He did
the Sherlock Holmes movie,
that terrible Indiana Jones movie that found
we don't talk about that. Fortunately, it's on Apple, so no one will know it exists.
Unless you're Mark Wolf.
But no, I and the Sherlock Holmes films I think are very good and they're incredibly profitable.
Yeah.
Which I'm astonished that they couldn't get their asses in gear and put out a third one in 2014 or whatever. I mean, I know Downey was busy doing
Downey. It's got to be Downey, right? That's got to be.
That's the only. I mean, it certainly wasn't Warner Brothers.
It wasn't Jude Law.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Warner Brothers wasn't saying, "Oh, these films that make over 500 million on under 100 million budgets, we don't want another one of those."
Because he has to be active in those movies. Right? He's in that, look at him as Iron Man, where it's like, I'm not even going to wear the suit anymore. So it's like I'm not surprised that Downey's like, I don't know if I want to get into fight, bare knuckle boxing shape again at 55 years old. I'm trying to be zen all the time. I get it, I guess.
But no, I mean, when they came out, I used to hold those up as examples of, a well-known auteur taking an IP and making it their own, because that feels as much like a Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes film as, I don't know, Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow, to use an obvious example.
So yeah, Man from Uncle 2 any day now, I suppose, right?
Right. Should be coming. So yeah, we'll have to go to the numbers, Scott. Let's take a look at the box office so we can see just how many Man from Uncle sequels we're gonna get.
Well, I can already tell you that the answer is 0, unless Netflix just decides to be dicks just for the hell of it.
Dicks for the hell of it. That's a good title.
Man from Uncle, Dicks for the hell of it. The number one movie of the weekend was not Man from Uncle. Straight Out of Compton opened with a spectacular $60 million over its 3-day opening. I mean, that is and was one of the biggest openings ever for an R-rated picture, period, let alone for a music biopic. It was a little front-loaded, but who gives a shit when you open to $60 million on a 28 budget?
In August.
In August. And it legged out to 162 domestic, 40 overseas, for a $200 million global total. And you want to put this as one of the examples of, black movies are a risk overseas. Okay, but guess what? When you spend 30 and you make 160 domestic, who gives a shit what you make overseas? End of lesson. Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, $17 million, minus 40%. In its third weekend, $138 million after 17 days. So far, so good. By the way, on Brandon's point, yes, this is sort of a definitive example of what Universal did so fucking well all throughout 2015. From Furious 7 to It's Perfect 2 to Trainwreck to Straight Outta Compton to, relatively speaking, Sisters, which is they took these films that were not headlined by, white male actors. And again, they did not sell them as counter programming. They sold them as event movies unto themselves. When they used the sure to be huge opening weekend of Furious 7, not to put a second trailer to Jurassic World, but to attach the first trailer to Straight Outta Compton. And this was back when that was a surefire formula, because A, people went to the movies. B, as Aaron correctly pointed out a couple days ago when we were talking about this, they weren't on their cell phones during the trailers. They weren't coming in 20 minutes late to avoid the commercials. They actually watched the fucking trailers. And I digress. A Man from Uncle, $13.4 million, a disappointing debut for a film that was a disappointment overall. $45 million domestic, 65 overseas, for $110 million worldwide and a 75 budget. Again, with the exception of, King Arthur and I guess Aladdin, his movies tend to be reasonably budgeted. Yeah. So even if they don't go crazy, nobody loses their shirts over it. Fantastic Four dropped a 69% in weekend 2, earning $8 million, $42 million in 10 days. It would earn about what the first Fantastic Four earned in 2005, directed by Tim Story, a black guy, would open to on its first weekend. So
what happened? Few people saw it and talked about it.
But anyway, The Gift, minus 45%, 6.5 million, 24 million after 10 days, a nice leggy hit. Ant-Man, 5.5, minus 31%, 157 after 31 days in theaters.
Ants.
Starring the recently retired Michael Douglas.
Dude, Quantumania ruined careers.
I was about to say, it broke him.
Evangeline Lilly retired afterward, too.
Oh, yeah. Those two, they were really grasping at roles before they had...
I mean, will we ever see Michelle Pfeiffer again?
What's Jonathan Majors up to?
Yeah, it was Ant-Man's fault.
That
was the problem.
Cursed movie.
Without getting into the discourse, I will argue that the fallout from his transgressions, he was convicted in a court of law, were much worse because at that time he was headlining, basically the big bad of the MCU.
And
I
Creed.
genuinely think that didn't help, but I do think it was exponentially worse because of the SEO value of what it meant for the MCU when he got arrested.
Oh, Scott,
anyway.
there's no mistaking the idea that
so in a weird way,
being propped up as this new greatest thing, suddenly being taken down for various reasons. Yeah, that's not. While other people with similar circumstances that are also propped up don't get the same treatment.
Yeah,
it's not beyond me, but I get
it. I mean, just the fact that so yes, Ant-Man did kind of break him.
You know who's doing all right?
Brad Pitt,
Michael Pena.
And Catherine Newton survived.
He avoided.
He wasn't even in the fucking movie. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. T.I.
and
Desmalion
and future M. Bison.
Desmalion is in the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is.
He's a mocap character in that movie.
Ask Late Night with the Devil about their AI problems. See, cursed.
It was cursed to rave reviews and unprecedented box office success.
And Catherine Newton's relegated to only working with the Ready or Not guys for forever.
Right.
There were worse fates. When I lost my place.
Number 7, Vacation.
Corey's still in. Okay. Yeah. Corey's still in MODOK costume. That's how it's
Yeah, he wasn't exactly prolific before that anymore. Maybe he took his Law and Order LA money and put it in the
So he's trying to help Snyder write the script for Rebel Moon 3.
Oh God, I forgot he was in that. Vacation 5.1 million minus 42%, 47 million after 19 days. I think it opened on a Wednesday. Minions 5.1 million minus 31%, $313 million in 38 days of release. Fuck. That's what happens when you make new shit for today's kids. It was all there. Anyway, Ricky and the Flash, 4.5 million, minus 31%, 15 million after 2 weekends. An underperformer, which is sad because it's a very good movie. And of course, one of Meryl Streep's best performances of that era is the one that she doesn't get nominated for.
Wes Craven even got her nominated. For fuck's sake. Come on.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Trainwreck, number 10, 3.8 million, minus 38%, 98 million after a month in theaters. What else did we? Oh, Mistress America, $93,000 in 4 theaters. It would eventually leg out to 3.3 million worldwide, but box office almost doesn't account for movies like that. Almost. People, Places, Things. $31,000 in 19 theaters. It would eventually earn $177,000 worldwide. Let's see where that stands in the film arcade filmography. Oh, that's right. You can't because Box Office Mojo is stupid now. I'll look it up later.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, and that's it for us this week. We got only 2 more episodes left. But till then, guys, Aaron, where can people keep up with you?
I am the editor-in-chief at We Live Entertainment. All my movie reviews can be found there. Everything I do can be found at my personal Substack page, thecodeofzeke.substack.com. I do host a couple podcasts. I'm the co-host of Out Now with Aaron and Abe with my friend Abe. We talk about weekly movie releases. And I am, of course, the co-host of 2 Black Guys Talk Godzilla, where my friend Terrence Johnson and I talk about the Godzilla films in chronological order on a bi-weekly basis. Check out both of those shows. You can find all the social media stuff I do at Aaron's PS4.
Scott.
I am a semi-regular contributor to Puck News. I also write, run, and maintain the Outside Scoop at Substack. I do a weekly podcast called The Box Office Podcast, where it's usually myself and 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 younger, cooler, more culturally relevant box office scholars, or Aaron, as we sit around and talk about the weekend that happened before at a theater near you.
All right. And I'm on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. Always remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch this stuff as well as my 4K and Blu-ray reviews. Also on the show, once a month, I've been having a Tarkovsky's Tales retrospective on Andrei Tarkovsky with Stephen Warren Hill, author and programmer at Chicago TARDIS. Good series. I think people should brush up, catch up, and follow along with us. I want to remind you about this picking next year. So we have a poll out. It's already out as you're listening, so go back and voting. You never know when we're going to choose or call it a day. 1986, 1989, 1994, 1997. Just a reminder, 86, Aaron's birth year, 89, the year that changed me, 94 is there, and then 1997 is a rock solid year. I will say, if we do 86 and we start over again the way we're doing, we will cover 97, we will cover 2008, and we will close on 2019, the year before COVID.
Hey.
Right up there.
That sounds, you know what?
That's the end of movies.
Fuck the listeners. That's what we're
doing. Why is there a poll at this point? It seems like it's just a good idea.
I think that's maybe our reset, but we want you to have your voice heard.
No, that's a great idea. I want to do that.
Okay.
We'll pretend that's what the listeners said.
Okay, we might veto. So, so those who wanted
stop the count.
Let's see what the listeners say.
Let's see what the listeners say. But if 86 is chosen, that will be the path taken. So we'll promise that. Not to force your hand on 86. So if you were wanting 97, it'll get covered. You'll just have to wait an additional year. If you want someone wanted 2008, it's there, and we will dig back in this 2010s wheel of COVID.
I want 2008. 2008's a good year.
Well,
God, yes.
Well, no, 2019 could be very interesting when we're in 2029. So, because we'll have been past Avengers Doomsday and all that stuff by the time we get to it. That could be very interesting in 2019. But we'll actually maybe have a Star Wars film hit theaters. Maybe.
Let's not test fate here.
Maybe. So that path looks enticing, but we're still leaving it out there. It's my podcast. I can do what I want to, but I want to see what the listeners say. Do you like that pathway? Because if we do 97 right away, or we do some of the other ones, we may not take that path. But if 86 is selected, that's your path. That's what you're voting for with 86. So you 97 people possibly want to stuff the 86 because you're going to get 97 anyway. Just saying.
If you vote for anything else, you're getting 86.
Oh, right on. All right. That leads us into next week. With 2 weeks to go, our episode is an ultra sinister agent that's funny that way. All that and more as the summer of 2015 at 10 continues.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.